Tom had accidentally drunk alcohol laced with an aphrodisiac and almost assaulted Alice, who had come to attend a banquet. When he woke up, there was much gossip among the guests. Alice's father was furious and demanded that Tom take responsibility. However, Tom falsely accused Alice of drugging him to seduce him, causing her to faint from anger. Under social pressure, Tom's mother insisted that he marry Alice. When Alice woke up, she tearfully told her father that she didn't want to marry Tom because she already had someone she loved. Her father, feeling guilty for failing to protect her, suffered a heart attack and fainted. A few days later, Tom brought a dowry to her home and forced her to marry him. Seeing her sick father, who was vomiting blood on the bed, Alice had no choice but to agree. The next day, she broke up with Michael, telling him she was getting married. Michael thought she was joking, but she mocked him for being poor and unable to give her happiness. He kissed her, but she pushed him away, saying, "You're just a plaything to me. I'm tired of you now. Forget about me." She turned and left without looking back, leaving a heartbroken Michael behind. At Alice and Tom's engagement banquet, Tom's mother publicly announced that their wedding would be held in 3 days. Michael then realized that Alice was marrying his half-brother. He went to her room and asked why she had chosen Tom. She lied, telling him, "Because I love Tom, he's the true heir, while you're just an illegitimate son of an opera performer." Her words deeply wounded his heart. She ordered him to leave, but he touched her face and kissed her because he could see that she still loved him. She tried to struggle, but he held her and continued to kiss her passionately for a long time. Drunk, Tom stumbled into a room, only to find his cousin Rose lying on the bed. He had always liked her and said she was the woman he had always wanted to marry. He embraced her, swearing, "I only love you. I will never touch Alice." Then he caressed her legs and pushed her down onto the bed. Michael persuaded Alice to elope with him, and they agreed to meet on the bridge in an hour. However, their conversation was overheard by a maid, who hurriedly informed Tom's mother that Alice was planning to run away. After packing her bags, Alice was about to leave when she was stopped by Tom's mother. She ordered her servants to bind Alice and prevent her from escaping. Later, she found a lighter in Alice's luggage and became suspicious that Alice was having an affair with another man. Michael waited for Alice at the bridge for a long time, but she didn't show up. Tom's mother even sent people to beat him. Just as he was about to fight back, he saw a servant holding the lighter. The servant told him, "Alice sent us to beat you. She never planned to leave with you. She was just lying to get you out of her room." Heartbroken, Michael no longer resisted and was beaten badly. Meanwhile, Alice was kneeling, begging Tom's mother to spare Michael. She kept bowing until her forehead bled, but his mother pushed her down, saying, "Even though my son married you, we look down on you. From now on, you'll stay here as a maid." To ensure Michael's safety, Alice agreed to all of her demands. Tom's mother then ordered her servants to expel Michael from the city, ensuring Alice would never see him again. But they didn't expect that 3 years later, Michael had become an influential young commander and returned to take their house and even steal Alice away. After kissing Alice, Michael pushed her to the ground. He told Tom, "I was just joking with you. Your house is too small, I'm not interested." After Michael left, Tom's mother slapped Alice hard. She was about to slap her again, but Alice grabbed her hand and warned her not to overstep. Tom's mother ordered her to sweep the snow in the courtyard overnight. When Alice returned to her room exhausted, Rose insulted and mocked her again. In a fit of anger, Alice slapped Rose. Tom witnessed this and accused Alice of being vicious. He left with Rose, leaving Alice speechless. Michael learned that his mother had passed away not long ago, and he felt so sad. Feeling like he had nothing left, he decided he would take Alice back and keep her by his side forever. The next day, Michael ordered all the merchants in the city to stop doing business with Tom. His mother thought Alice was to blame for all of this, so she grabbed a vase from the table and threw it at her. But Michael's adjutant arrived just in time and blocked the vase for Alice. He told Tom that the young commander had invited Alice to his house to have a chat. Tom was furious, but when Michael's adjutant made a move to draw his gun, Tom immediately backed down and stopped blocking them. Alice arrived at Michael's house and saw a huge birdcage. He suddenly hugged her from behind and slowly pushed her into the cage. She told him, "I'm your sister-in-law. What you're doing is shameless." But he pinned her to the sofa and grabbed her neck. He then threw her a dress worn by opera performer, saying, You look down on my mother because she was an opera performer, so today I'll let you experience what it's like to be a performer." After she put on the dress, he held her and ordered her to sing for him. When Alice returned home, she found Tom sitting in her bedroom. He hugged her and tried to kiss her, but she pushed him away. She wanted to cut ties with him completely, but he said, "No matter what, you're still my wife in name." Just as she was about to leave, he shouted, "If you dare leave, I'll tell Michael that your father is a bandit and killed his mother." Alice didn't believe him and pushed him away. Rose suggested that Tom send Alice to the young commander, but Tom slapped her, saying, "My matters are none of your business." Alice called her father to ask if he had really killed Michael's mother. Her father denied it, saying he was only interested in money, not in killing anyone. But Alice was still scared. She feared that if Michael found out, he would hate her. Tom's shops have all been reported, and his caravan was also attacked by bandits. Meanwhile, debt collectors from the gambling house came to his door, demanding that Tom repay the money immediately or they would sever his limbs. With no other choice, Tom had to sell his house to pay off the debt. Michael's adjutant suggested that he buy Tom's house, as it would give him more opportunities to see Alice. So, Michael went to Tom's house and said, "Sell me this house. My adjutant needs a place and I'll buy it for him." However, Tom firmly refused to sell it to him. At that moment, Michael saw Rose bullying Alice and he rushed over and slapped Rose hard. Tom angrily asked, "What gives you the right to hit her?" But Michael kicked him to the ground. He wanted to comfort Alice, but she coldly said, "This is our family matter. It's none of your business." After hearing this, Michael felt both angry and heartbroken and was about to leave. Tom's mother tried to slap Alice, but Michael suddenly turned around and gave her a warning look. Tom's mother was frightened. Michael's adjutant then told him that a mysterious person had bought Tom's house. Moreover, the details of the report on Tom's shops were very specific, as if it had come from someone inside. Michael smiled, as he had figured out that the informant was Alice. Late at night, he entered her bedroom and hugged her from behind. He revealed that she was the informant and the one who had bought Tom's house. He grabbed her by the neck, kissed her forcefully, and then pinned her down on the bed. She picked up a pair of scissors and threatened him. He got up and said, "Since you can't leave Tom, I'll have him personally deliver you to me." For the sake of saving the family business, Tom went to bribe the county magistrate, but they were caught red-handed by reporters. Soon, news reports poured in, sparking public outrage as people accused him of colluding with officials for personal gain. Tom was helpless, but his mother came up with a solution: send Alice to Michael to win his favor so that he would stop targeting their family. The next day, Tom brought Alice to Michael's house. He pushed her into Michael's arms and said, "Don't you like my wife? Well, I'm giving her to you." Alice refused, but Michael leaned in and said, "You've already entered my house. It's no longer up to you whether you want it or not." As soon as Tom left Michael's house, he was arrested by the police for bribing officials. Michael had Alice wear a cheongsam and then carried her into the birdcage. He handcuffed her hands and hung a sign, one that was usually worn by prostitutes, with her name written on it. He asked her, "Do you like it?" "I made it for you myself." Alice remembered 3 years ago when he had said the same thing. Back then, he had given her a pearl necklace and asked, "Do you like it?" "I made it for you myself." He put the necklace around her neck, and she kissed his forehead before embracing him. With tears in her eyes, she stood up and kissed Michael. He refused to listen to her explanation and forced himself on her. Afterward, when he saw the bloodstains on the shirt, he realized that Alice had always been a virgin, and this was her first time. Alice wanted to go home, but Michael couldn't understand why she was still attached to the heartless Tom. She lied, claiming that she loved Tom. Michael, in a fit of rage, grabbed her hair and said, "Then you'll just be my plaything forever." Michael met with the new county magistrate at his home and flirted with Alice by sitting her on his lap right in front of him. Michael stated that he had paid off all of Tom's debts and demanded that the mayor release Tom. The mayor, not daring to defy him, immediately agreed. Afterwards, Michael extended a hand to Alice and said, "Sister-in-law, let me take you home." After Tom was released from prison, Rose falsely claimed that she had spent a lot of money and used her connections to get Tom out of jail. Tom was grateful to her and then believed that Michael was too heartless. Just then, Michael came back with Alice. He deliberately wrapped his arm around her waist, provoking Tom. Michael said to Tom, "Brother, come be my personal secretary." Though Tom was shocked and reluctant, he dared not refuse. He put on the military uniform and went to Michael's office. In order to humiliate and provoke him, Michael ordered him to spread flower petals on the bed. In the evening, Michael asked Alice to come to his house and pick up the rose petals on his chest with her mouth. He lifted her chin and complimented her, "You're so beautiful." Then, he pushed her onto the bed. Although Tom, who was standing guard outside the door, heard the sounds from the room, he dared not speak out in anger. 1 month later, Michael's adjutant told him, "After the investigation, we found that your mother's death was related to bandits. She was on her way to perform in another town and passed by a bandit-infested mountain where she lost her life." Michael was furious and decided to personally exterminate the bandits to avenge his mother. Alice was imprisoned in the mansion. She was very haggard. Suddenly, she felt nauseous and suspected that she was pregnant. She believed she shouldn't be carrying Michael's child at this time, so she deliberately threw herself down the stairs, losing a lot of blood. Although the adjutant saved her, she still miscarried. The adjutant told Alice that Michael truly loved and cared about her, always carrying her photo with him. She recalled the happy memories of the past and decided to give Michael another chance to reconcile with him. But when he returned home, he brought Rose with him. He said, "Today, I was almost bitten by a venomous snake in the forest, but luckily Rose saved me." He intentionally acted intimately with Rose, as he was angry after learning that Alice had deliberately fell down the stairs and lost the baby. Alice was deeply hurt and wanted to leave, but he stopped her. He said, "Rose will be my girlfriend from now on, and she will take care of all the household affairs." Rose asked Alice to serve her tea, and Michael agreed. Then Rose ordered Alice to kneel and serve her tea, but Alice poured the tea into her face. She smashed the teacup, then picked up a shard and attempted to cut Rose's face. Rose was terrified and begged Alice to spare her. Tom accidentally saw Rose and asked why she was in Michael's house. But Rose pushed his hand away, stating that she willingly became Michael's woman. She also admitted that the aphrodisiac in Tom's drink that night was put there by her. She had intended to seduce Tom, but unexpectedly, the accident happened and Tom met Alice first. Later, Tom apologized to Alice, hoping to reconcile with her. He knelt and begged for her forgiveness, then hugged her tightly. She pushed him away, but he pinned her down on the sofa. Just then, Michael arrived, holding a gun and aiming it at Tom. Facing Tom's provocation, Michael was about to shoot, but Alice stopped him. With tears in her eyes, she begged him to calm down. However, Michael misunderstood that she was worried about Tom and left sadly. Michael hurt his hand in anger, but Alice embraced him, explaining, "I have never loved Tom." After bandaging his wound, she said, "I was going to reconcile with you, but you only see me as a plaything." To prove his sincerity, Michael tried to grab a knife to hurt himself again, but Alice stopped him. Their fingers intertwined, and they shared a passionate kiss. But the good times didn't last long. Alice soon heard that Michael had gone to exterminate the bandits in the mountains. She was shocked and fainted. The doctor told Michael that Alice's health was very weak, and she had been plagued by illnesses for many years. His adjutant investigated further and discovered that over the years, Tom and his family had mistreated Alice, and Rose had even poisoned her, causing her to nearly die. After hearing this, Michael felt deeply heartbroken and tightly held her hand. Rose pretended to visit Alice out of goodwill, but Michael scolded her loudly, ordering her to leave his house immediately. A few days later, Alice woke up. She tried several times to call her father, but she couldn't get through. Worried about him, she refused to take the medicine, but Michael drank the medicine himself and fed it to her with his mouth. The servant of Alice's father, Bruce, came to see her and told her that her father had been murdered, and the ones responsible were Michael's army. Bruce told her that he now needed a lot of money to settle the people in the village, so Alice agreed to help him raise the funds. He hoped that Alice would leave with him in 3 days, but Michael suddenly appeared, holding a gun and aiming it at Bruce. Alice stopped him and explained that Bruce was a servant from her family and was only here to visit her. The next day, Alice confessed the truth to Michael, explaining why she hadn't kept her promise to run away with him. Michael was moved to tears. He kissed her and said, "Let's say goodbye to the past and start over together." A few days later, they held their wedding. After getting drunk, Michael pushed Alice onto the sofa and praised her for looking beautiful. Before they drank their wedding wine, She suddenly kissed him. Then, Michael drank from the cup and carried her to the bed. They kissed passionately for a long time, but suddenly, Alice apologized to him. Soon after, the effects of the drug kicked in, and Michael collapsed onto the bed. It turned out that Alice had secretly slipped a sleeping drug into his wine, and it would be 6 hours before he woke up. She managed to escape and met her father's servant, Bruce. She handed him the money she had raised, then turned to look at Michael's mansion. She still decided to leave, but when she got into the car, she saw Rose sitting in the back seat. It was then that Alice realized she had been tricked. Bruce was a traitor and had already become an accomplice of Rose. But it was too late. Bruce kidnapped her and took her to a remote place. He confessed that it was he who had killed Alice's father. Bruce also admitted that he had kidnapped and raped Michael's mother. Afterwards, because Michael's mother had wanted to report the crime to the authorities, Bruce killed her to silence her. Alice had once hoped her father would investigate the truth behind Michael's mother's death, but Bruce, fearing his crimes would be exposed, decided to kill Alice's father to prevent any further investigation. Bruce wanted to assault Alice, but Michael broke in and shot him dead. Michael ordered that Rose be sent to a brothel. She collapsed on the ground, begging for mercy, but Michael ignored her and picked up Alice, carrying her away. It turned out that Michael had already noticed Alice's unusual behavior, so he had sent someone to track Bruce and discovered that Bruce and Rose had been conspiring together all along. Alice apologized to him, but he didn't hold it against her. Instead, he gently comforted her. Back at the mansion, Michael learned that Tom's mother had conspired with Bruce, which ultimately led to his own mother's kidnapping and death. He pointed a gun at her and ordered that she be sent to the police station. Finally, the turmoil settled. Alice pulled on Michael's tie, drawing him into the birdcage. She picked up a whip and said, "Young master, this time it's your turn to be my caged bird."